at this time, and that the Chinese have their own group of robots.
Yes, that's true. But I will tell you that those automated soldiers will be used more for off-Earth events rather than on the Earth.
Okay. Well, I understand that there is an Illuminati fabricated alien agenda scenario, but my understanding was that there may be a real invasion scenario as well.
Yeah, well, that's why I mentioned
that.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned the Kuiper's Belt information before, right, because my feeling is that will be a real one. The question remains, when we see this, is it the real one or the staged one?
Exactly, and whether ultimately any of those beings are positively oriented or have our, as you say, our best interests in mind on any level. Can you describe? I mean, obviously, you feel you're psychic, and I don't know if you use remote viewing as one of your techniques, or you feel that that's worthwhile. But you must, if you're aware of beings coming in the Kuiper Belt, you must be, checking them out yourself. Have you seen what they look like?
Yes, that's also a very good question, and I will tell you that many of them, but not all, are insect-like. Now, I will say that there is a huge conglomeration of beings out there. It's not just one type. There's a lot of different ones out there, but apparently the majority of them are insect-like. As far as communication, it's really blocked. They are not allowing communication. They block communication. They don't want anyone to know what they're doing, where they're going, how they think. It's really, they are an enigma.
Okay. Do you happen to believe that Pat Price really died?
Well, I never thought about it.
Oh, okay. I've just had a question there in my mind about that. As to whether he was, because there are some beings or people that have been taken underground or even off planet, and given this, the sort of cover story that they died or whatever.
Yeah, again, a lot of that does have to do with programming issues. You really have to take each individual case on its own. And again, I don't like to comment about the works of other people. I can only tell you about myself and what I know. Okay.
Well, that's, he was considered to be one of the super psychics at the early stages of supposedly the military getting involved in all of that, as you know. So in terms of the future, do you see an ultimate positive future for the planet or what?
Yeah, ultimately I do. I really don't think that these tyrants, if you will have full reign forever. Ultimately, I think when human beings are really, really pushed to the wall, they will fight back. They will take back their own power and their own control. And ultimately, no matter who it is, whether it's the Illuminati, the Draco, or the Fourth Reich, or the Kuiper's Belt, or whomever, ultimately they will not have any power here. And that's why I encourage people to go within and to take back their own minds and reunify the fragmentation of their personality so that they can get their whole self back again.
Okay. And what about the idea of group meditations for the betterment of the planet? Do you believe in that?
Okay, here's my problem with that. Most of the time I see this posted on the internet, on such and such a date at such and such a time, all get together mentally and focus on this thing. That's an Illuminati agenda. Here they can, by the internet, get hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people all in the same time and space to focus on this one thing, and then they can shoot mind control into that and control all those people simultaneously. I don't believe in that kind of thing. I think it can be very dangerous. If you want to do mental work, do it on your own. If you have a couple of friends or people that you interact with in your private group, do it on your own. Don't announce it to the world, because then you'll become a target for mind control to be shot at you, if you will. When they have a collective of minds focusing on one thing, that's like letting the burglar in the house and turning the alarm off. that's very dangerous. You need to really do your mental work on your own or in private groups without announcing it publicly.
Okay, and I think that's very good advice for people listening, because I think there's a lot of confusion about that. Are you speaking out at various conferences and so on?
Yeah, sure. In fact, we just had one here, our own conference on health and healing, which was fantastic last weekend. We have another one coming up in August, and again in September, our annual conference. And I go all over the world.
When you say here, do you want to tell people where this is and maybe where they could go to get involved?
Sure. Of course. We are in St. Joseph, Michigan, which is on the west coast of Michigan on the lake right across from Chicago. On the website, expansions.com, there is a schedule of all our activities and what we're doing and where we're doing everything, and you're welcome to come and join us. We'd love to have you at our seminars and conferences. I do personal consultations. I travel everywhere in the world. We just came back from Antarctica, where we did some research onto the bases there and what's going on there. A lot of fantastic information on the website.
Okay, as far as Antarctica, you're saying you just went there. Well, there is a base there. How were you able to kind of get there, and under what circumstances, and then what did you find?
Well, we went by ship, which I really don't recommend. It's very, very rough Drake Passage. We went to several bases, British, Argentinian, Chilean, Ukrainian. The interesting thing about the bases is there's a plaque on the bases that say that they were established to monitor the enemy. However, they don't tell you what the enemy is. And when you question them, they're extremely evasive. And when they give you a tour of the base, it's almost like a joke, because they'll show you the bathroom, the bedroom, everything but where the equipment is. Like here's a closet. I'm like, okay, what is that thing out there? Oh, that's a scientific experiment. We can't talk about it. But basically, under the Norwegian section, that is where the German base underneath is located, what the Germans had called Neuschwabenland, which was built between 1938 and 1944 by the Third Reich, and that's documented as they said they were creating a, quote, paradise for the Führer, unquote. And they used materials from South Africa, South America. And in 1944 and 45, there were trainloads of Aryan-looking people in Germany, but they also came from Ukraine and Poland and other areas, that boarded these trains, went to Bremerhaven, boarded ships and submarines, and were never seen again, and they went off to Antarctica. In 1946, the U.S., British, and Canada sent Navy and Air Force to Antarctica for war. Now, this is 1 year after World War II ended. They never explained why they were going to Antarctica, why they were there for 8 or 9 months, and then returned apparently unsuccessful. Now, you may recall in the last 2 years that a lot of the bases in Antarctica have been closed up because the scientists have been getting cancer, radiation poisoning. Lake Vostok in the Russian territory rose 65 degrees under the ice, and electromagnetic anomalies came to the surface that were considered a threat to national security, but then no more information was given. So there's a lot going on underneath Antarctica than we're being told, and that's what we went to find out.
Okay. Do you believe that they are amassing groups of I don't know, soldiers or whatever, or plans? Are they using that as some kind of evacuation point or for the planet? Any ideas?
You mean in Antarctica?
Yes.
Well, no. Antarctica is basically underground. Is the Fourth Reich is there, and my feeling is that they are connecting to the Kuiper's Belt beings as an alliance against the Illuminati, Draco, and everyone else. So, unfortunately, my feeling is this planet is becoming a vast battleground for many different factions. all having the same agenda, but yet wanting their own side to be the dominant one.
Okay, and